Morning. All right, so it's the next day. I did not stretch the bottom wire. I instead decided to put the corners back together, so all that's taken care of. So now we get to go and find which one of these wires on the ground is the bottom wire, and then we will unwind it, stretch it down the road, and get it tight, and that'll be our bottom line. As soon as I get all that done, I will show you the pulling equipment and some of the safety stuff that I've got. All right, so I got the bottom wire tied up, and we just got to go through and unwind it. Of course, barbed wire likes to grab onto everything. I've already got the other side found. We just got to get this side found. So you can see that this one, or maybe you can't see, I don't know. This wire here is going around it. So if I can find the other side of him, then we can unloop it. These ends over here go to the H-brace. We found the other end. Yay. So now we have to stretch it. We have to put it onto this H-brace here, about 12 inches off the bottom. And then I'll go get my stretcher and we'll stretch it. So we've talked in my other videos about pressure and which side of the pipe to run the wire. So since the calves are on my side predominantly, sometimes the other my neighbor will run some calves, but since I'm running a bee farm and I'm putting the fence back, the pressure I'm going to say is going to come from my side. And so we want the wire on this side, so when that calf pushes on the fence, it's got something to be strong against. So what we do is we come up about, for the bottom wire, about 12 inches or so, and we do a double loop. Oh, come on. Do a double loop. I just destroyed a perfectly good set of gloves. And then we tie it. And I'm going to stretch it from the other end, so that's why I'm tying it here. And then we just run this pigtail out over itself. And then I like to try to get any kind of, other than the barbs, any like pokey wires out away from folks. So off we go. We now need to take this wire, we'll pull on it a little bit as we go down, about like that. We want to make sure we don't have any loops in our wire. So that comes out. That's probably a little high, so I better drop him just a little bit. Okay. Get that away because it'll grab it back. So this is what we will use to pound the posts in as a guide. Not using the wire to pound the posts, we're using the wire as a guide on where to put the posts. We put the posts about an inch outside of the wire. And then we have a straight line from post to post so our fence doesn't do this. There's nothing worse than a crooked fence. I had to break the wire down here so I could finish untangling it because there's 5 of the wires really wound up into it. And so there was a patch job done down here, so I just undid the patch and gotta put the patch back. Here's one end of it. You do a lot of walking when you're building fence. Okay. Come on, loop. Oop, ouch. And then this kind of stuff happens. And of course, when you're doing it by yourself, all right, I gotta put you down. So this is the way they spliced it, and I think it's a good splice. So you make a loop, and then you run the other wire through it, and then you loop that back onto itself. It makes a pretty strong splice. If you have to, really you'd want one line, one piece of wire, but if you can't, then that's a good splice. Sometimes you'll see it where they'll take the wires and they'll just roll it onto each other. And what happens is over time, those wires, they pull apart. And so looping them, they won't pull apart. I had one more down here. Boy, everything is wet today. Pumpkin harvest is coming soon. I think these are, what do they call them? Baking pumpkins. They're the smaller ones that you make for pumpkin pie. So there it is. A farm growing your Thanksgiving pumpkin pie mix. Right next door to mine. Alrighty, so I pulled the wire at the other end as tight as I could by hand. And I've been thinking about this for a while. This wire here that we just found, the bottom wire, runs from one post to the other with multiple splices in it. And that's a long ways to keep a wire tight. And so what I've decided to do is I'm going to cut the wire here, and then we'll make everything stretched off of this to keep a tighter wire. So about here or so, we're going to cut that sucker. And then the next thing we got to do is we got to get our gear. So here's what we got. So we have a come along with a hook, a fence puller. There's multiple fence pullers. I like this one. It's just what I've been shown and it works really well. A chain, and this is how it works. So I'll scoot you around so you can see. And basically you wrap your chain around your post. And you come along, it goes in on one end. Come on. Whew, I'm getting tired. That chain's awfully heavy. And then you put your wire stretcher on it. Ouch. The barb always gets you. I don't get it. So this opens up and then the wire goes in there and then it'll clamp down, and you need to get that wire into that so it looks like that, or else it'll not work. And then all you do is you stretch it, bring the come along in, it's pretty tight. I'd like it a little tighter, but it looks like I ran out of cable, so I get to do this again. Okay, so we got it pretty tight. So we're gonna walk the line, make sure it's not hooked on anything, sitting under the dirt, got a clump of weeds on it. That way we know where the true line is. So like this here could be jacking with it. So we get rid of those. So we want it to lie where it's supposed to, because that's the property line. You can see up here it kind of curves a little bit. Looks like it's in some dirt. So you just kind of pick it up, kick it a little bit. Look how far it moved over. And do it again. There it goes. That's about where it needs to be. And then we'll go put it another click or two on it. We're gonna get everything loaded up, and here we go. I put the T-posts on the line and that was a mistake. So I went and moved them off the line, as you can see. So let's talk about some fence driving equipment. This is a post hole driver. It's actually a two-person post hole driver because you can see how long the handle is. I have a single and I may go get it because that thing is probably going to be a little too much for me to get off. We have gloves, hat, of course, you're out of the sun, so your pants, your boots, whatever. But the other thing that we have that most people probably wouldn't think about is, where did it go? I dropped it, but hearing plugs, earplugs. That way, oh, there it is. Because it is loud banging these pipes in, and having to bang in all of these T-posts will make a guy go deaf. So it's always important to take care of those ears. Sometimes it's a pain, but it'll be really nice when you can be 80 years old and still hear. So or kind of hear, I don't know. All right, so let me get my hearing plugs in, earplugs, and then we'll get to putting some pipe in. And if I have to go get the single one, then we'll go do it. All right, so my camera died before I could show you guys me starting to pound the posts in. So I went ahead and started putting the post in. I got quite a few in. I'm more than halfway done. I think there's 30, maybe 25 posts per telephone pole. So we've done at least 50 posts. Got another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm doing about 10 and then taking a break, and then do another 10 and take a break. So camera's charged. Get you so you're not crooked there. Here we go. So y'all can watch how we put posts in. In some places, it's so remote, so rugged that you can't take a four-wheeler or anything, and they use mules to haul the posts in. About 20 of them. They put about 10 on each side, and they just walk the mule on and, you know, flip them off whatever distance they want. So we're pretty lucky to be able to drive right to it and use a four-wheeler to pack them around. But there's some country that I've been in where you got to walk a half a mile to a mile packing post hole diggers that are 70 pounds, 60 pounds. Come alongs, your tools, your lunch, all your stuff. So this is pretty easy, and they're going in pretty quick. So can't really complain. That's my little flip method. That way I don't have to bend down each time to get it. So we put it about 1 inch off the line. We want it straight and square as much as we can. And then we can kick the bottom, because sometimes the post will turn. And so we want to kick the bottom. You can hold it with your foot. And we go to where that's about at the top of the button here. That way we can try to keep an even height all the way down. we'll move them down a little bit. He's bent, so that doesn't help. There we go. I wouldn't leave you. So see at the bottom, we're looking right about an inch or so off the line. And that's how you keep it straight all the way down the line. Y'all may have noticed I'm using a different hammer. Let me turn you a little bit. There we go. And the reason for that is I broke the top of the other one. So I got to go weld it back on. And take a pipe wrench and try to turn this. Feels like it's it's in good ground. Let's see if we can turn it a little bit. A little pressure on it. There we go. Pipe wrench always does the trick. Okay, we hit the end. Thank goodness. We pounded 82 posts today. But there's the last one. And you can see they are darn straight. So what happens when you have an engineer build a fence? Okay, one thought that I had that I want to tell you is as you are outside working, especially in this heat, it is always a great idea to stay hydrated and force yourself to drink water, or else you're gonna find yourself in a world of hurt pretty quick. So, make sure you're drinking your water and don't let the heat get you. I took a lot of breaks throughout the day. I did about 10 and then would stop, maybe go inside, cool down a little bit, come back out. You know, if you don't have the luxury of being able to go inside, then go find a shade tree, go do something where you don't get overheated. So now that we've got a bottom wire stretched, 82 posts in the ground, it is time to go put some clips on. And I believe Chelsea has some great information on the clips and how we put them on and what they're used for and all that good stuff. You look dirty, hold on. And so let's hear what Chelsea has to say about these clips.
So each bag comes in, or at least these are 25 per package.
All right, cool, Chelsea. Thank you. That was a lot of great information. So we're running 6 wires on this fence. which means we're gonna put out 6 clips per post. Oop. And since I've got this little 4-wheeler buggy here, we're gonna use it to distribute the clips. Just dump them right down there and off you go. Except for I'm not very organized. Oh. Let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. We're good. Now we just could go to the next one, drop them off. One, two. Well, 3, 4, 5, 6. We just do that all the way down the line. Okay, we're down here at the other end again. This is where I like to start. We lined out 6 clips per post. 6 times 82 posts is 492 clips just on this half of the fence line. So the next thing we get to do is we get to put the clips on. So let's do that. Oh, we need the bottom wire about 12 inches off the ground, which is about here, about 1, 2, 3, 4, about 6 notches up. So this clip has this little wing here and then a hook on this side, and then this fits around the T-post. And that's why it's so important that we get these T-posts with the knobs as square as we possibly can. So the clip comes around, and then they do make some fancy pliers, but I like these pliers. They're wire cutters, and I just take the end off so I get the rubber off of it, so it's got the smooth end, and it really allows a nice easy bend. Come all the way around, pull it, take the other side, pull it up, and you got a wire firmly attached to a post. All right, let's go to the next one. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're about here. And the ground does change, so we may come down a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So about here. About 12 inches off the ground is what we're looking for. That's it. And we get to do that 492 times. All right, I walked the line, put the clips on everything. I may have gotten the wire a tad too tight. I mean, maybe not, I don't know. It's definitely nice and tight, and that's what you want. You get it too tight though, and it'll break in the wintertime. And it gets cold here, but Okay, on to wire number 2. And I think for your all's sanity, I will just do some movie magic and show you what the fence looks like when we're all said and done, because it's the same process that I just showed you all day long. So I'm gonna go unroll wire number 2.